Okay, I want to do a transformation video of this Magic Square Optimus Prime 2.0 version so that I have reference of how this is transformed, because there's definitely a lot of things that you need to know and be aware of in terms of how things move and transform, because this is actually kind of complicated. So to start, let's just take the gun off, and then from here you have a choice. Start with the legs or the arms. Arms seem to be kind of easy, so let's start with that. First, just turn the hands inwards like that. Then lift the arms up and then rotate them 180 so the gray part's showing. And then from the bottom, you want to untab it and bring it up like that. So you're starting to open up panels of the car, or the vehicle, truck. Same thing from the bottom, untab it. And then from the top side, you could see that half circle and the little pin, the tab. So you're gonna have to, it's on a double hinge. So you get it up like that and then bend it so you have enough open space to fold the hand in. And then you do not close it back. You actually have to bend the arm down like that, and then you can see where it actually tabs in. So now you actually don't go down, you actually go up. And that's how you want to get the arm all set up. Same thing on this side. From the top, you could see the half circle. It's on a double hinge. So you kind of want to lift it up like that, and then open it so you have clearance to get the hand in. And then it doesn't go back, it goes the other way, but after you bend the arm down, and then you can see where it tabs in right there. Okay, now you have both arms situated. Now let's move on to the legs. First thing you want to do is lift these gas canisters up so that you create space for this panel to open. And you can see it actually tabs in. So from the bottom, you want to untab it, open it up 90 degrees, and then it opens up on the inner side as well, but it doesn't open up 90 degrees. So you just have to kind of see, untab it, and then you can lift this piece up. Okay, once you lift it up, you have to fold it in, folding in the small piece first because it has the tab, and then close the larger piece which fits into that tab. Let's do it again on this other side. So remember I said from the bottom you want to untab it, open it up 90 degrees, and on the inside doesn't open up all the way 90 degrees, just a little bit. And then once you get it untabbed, lift it up, close the small part which has the tab, close the large part over it to close it, fold it up like that. Okay, now you can see you're gonna have to pull this leg, if you can see, out. And the way this is actually attached is on a bar that you're going to have to pull out and rotate. So this bar has two functions. But before you can take that out, you need to create clearance. And the way to do that first is, when you see on the inside, that circle, it's a tab. You need to kind of bend the plastic a little bit to untab it, like you see I did there, kind of lifting it up. Now on the other side you can see, now you have that clearance to pull it out. But before you pull it out, you might as well start opening up these panels, this red part, which is part of the truck. So you extend it out like that, and then you have to grab it, hold it here, and then push down because you're pulling it out from the bar. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but see that bar. I'm trying to see if you can see that bar in there. It's that bar that goes in and out. Okay. And then you are actually supposed to rotate it up, but it actually gets in the way with transforming it, so you just kind of have to leave it down for now. Okay, and then these feet, they actually have to turn around 180. So let's kind of lift this out of the way so you get some clearance. And let's see, just extend this foot out like that, and then you should have clearance to rotate it around 90 degrees. Now to transform it to the back of the vehicle, just note that the front of the foot is supposed to go into the heel. So you have to bring this down, the front foot down, and then lift the heel up. So now you got the leg. Now let's do the same thing on this side. You have to first, you want to get this out, but you have to get the clearance on here. The way you do that is you have to untab it from the peg right there, which means you're going to have to bend the plastic a little bit to be able to pull it up. And then once you get it up, now you just adjust it so you can see where you have the clearance to now pull this out by extending that bar. So see, you just grab, well, first I forgot, extend all of this open, and then you have something to grab onto the thigh, or like right here, this canister. Just make sure you have clearance here, and then you're gonna pull it. See, you're gonna have to pull it, this bar. Hopefully you can see that bar in there, which has two functions, to extend it and to rotate. But you don't want to rotate this up yet, because like I said, it actually gets in the way when you're transforming the rest of it. Okay, and then the foot. So lift this up a little bit so you have clearance for this foot. Lift this piece up so you have some clearance to rotate the foot 180. Extend this front part of the foot, and then you can rotate this around 180. And then you, like I said, the front goes into the heel. So what you do is bring the front foot down, lift the heel up, then now you're forming the back of the vehicle. And then these, okay, now what you want to do is just kind of lift them up on these that peg so you get clearance, because what you need to do now is this hip needs to be rotated 180 like that, exposing that T shape, which is going to tab into the vehicle when you fold it up like that. After you rotate it 180, then you can kind of lift these up, and then if you want, you can tab, well, then you have to bring these legs up, accordion them up like that. Do the same on the other side. Let's bring this up. So now you got a squatted Optimus Prime, and then you can fold these panels closed, and then you can, if you want, you can maybe tab that piece in and just make sure you have it, well, after you tab it in, just make sure you have it situated looking something like this. And like I said, you want to keep these parts down, because when they're up here, they actually get in the way of when you're transforming all of this up there. So now, now we can start with all of the the body. So you want to get them looking something like that. Okay, first you got to untab right there, untab this back, and then, I don't know, just take note of how that is, because you're going to have to extend it out. So you just take note of that. This bar goes over on the top. So extend it out, lift up this bar, which I'm going to try to show you is actually the center part of the truck. As you can tell, you can see those two headlights on the top. That's just the top part of the car or truck. Okay, then this backpack, you want to untab it. It is on a rotating piece, so rotating it around. Let's just leave it like that for now. And then, okay, this is where it's gonna all start getting very complicated, because you're gonna have to start opening things up. So let's open up this chest. Let's see, and then from the bottom, this grill, you're gonna have to pull out. You're gonna have to extend it. There's another bar there, just like down here, where the bar extends and it rotates. So you rotate it around, and then you twist this around so you can see the front part of the truck. And then obviously this head has to go back, but you're gonna have to swivel these pieces around, which is, if you can tell, this is the front part of the car. So let's see, let's try to make clearance. So let's push forward the arms so we have some clearance, and then we can rotate it down like 90 degrees. Okay, and then now let's see, now you have the room, and I'm pointing out you're gonna have to lift this piece up. Well, first of all, now the head can come down after you move these out, but you want to bring his head down like this first, and then bring his head down. Now what I was saying, this plate right here, it needs to be lifted up like that. It needs to be lifted up in order for it to come down, which it can't do. Let's fold these arms up out of the way. A lot of things you're going to have to move out of the way. So you're going to have to rotate these windows in order to get some clearance for this to come down. And just pointing out how you can tell the difference. You see the windshield wiper? That's the front part of the vehicle. The other side, you don't have the windshield wiper, but you have those two headlights, which is the front part of the chest. So just so you know. So now you have the clearance, and this should come down. Okay, now you can kind of just close it, but you're not closing anything completely yet, because all these pieces need to be moved in a certain position first. Now, this mid-waist section, it actually kind of came down a little bit at an angle, but it can't come down all the way until, let's move this so you can see. Here's another piece where it needs to, where it comes down. It goes up and down, and this is a little challenging, but let me pull it. I pulled it down. And let me see if I can show you the difference. If you can see, this side's now longer because you have to pull it down. There's a piece you have to pull down. So you grab it. This side's a little bit harder because I'm just the way but you're gonna have to pull it down. Okay, now that you pulled it both down, now you should be able to rotate this all the way down. But before you do, you gotta start moving this now a little bit. So hold it in place. This is what I'm talking about. This piece needs to be swiveled a little bit more. Or actually it can't. Well, you can, but you don't want to be blending plastic over plastic. So now is a good time where you open these panels, if you can see. So you lift it up and then pull out this window so you can see, and then lift and then open the door basically. So same thing on here. You want to open this panel up all the way, and then this window. Now let's see, you should be able to bring these down and then rotate them. Well, yeah, rotate them as you're bringing it down. So now you can see it's like that. So this panel, like I said, you want to start to rotate this gray piece around. So push it up where you're slowly bringing this back part forward. So now you can see how it starts forming here. And then back to these arms that always get in the way. Now I'm going to point out, like I said, now you're going to have to get this back and top part forward, but these arms actually get in the way. You see these bars, so you just have to adjust these where they're not in the way. So this is how I do it, like this, the arms like that, and now this should be able to come all the way forward this top part of the vehicle, and then you want to start pushing these arms back. And then you should have more room to bring it all the way forward. Okay. And then move this backpack down. Now, let's see, just kind of straighten out that center bar. And this is the part where it's going to get very, very tricky, because you're going to have to figure out how to tab all these pieces in. Right, so you can see what you're trying to do. But now back to these arms. Get this backpack out because these smokestacks are in the way. Just start, well, first of all, I think it helps if you, this is an extra step, but just kind of untab it so you have room to fiddle these arms, because these arms are supposed to go in, just, you know, just like the way you would normally think Optimus transforms. And so once you get it in like that, then you can come back and tab it back in. So basically you're trying to get the arms in. It's a little hard because all of these parts are not tabbed in. Probably be easier if you did get those tabbed in first, but okay, now let's try it without untabbing this. See, you can't just, well, yeah, I guess you can do it that way. Just fold it down and it went in pretty easily. Okay. Now you have to bring all these pieces to tab in. This is the part that's very difficult because these windows need to tab in to this center bar, but then this center bar needs to go over this front part of the window. I don't know the best way to do this, but you just try to get everything lined up as best as you can. Just see how things are supposed to tab in. Okay, that part went down, but this window did not go in. So that's what I'm telling you. It needs to tap into this center bar, which is very difficult because all these pieces get in the way. But so this is really the hardest part of the whole thing. It's just trying to get this front window to tab in to that center bar, and then pushing it all down. I got it. It's very hard. And then the rest of these, just pointing out, this has to extend out a little bit further, if you can see, because that's the last part to go in. Then you can start closing the door, tabbing that in, and then the same thing on the other side. Close the door, and then, like I said, all this tabs in by pushing in this front grille. Okay. Make sure everything's all tabbed in. Everything's all lined up and flush. Now this back piece, bring it back, and then these two sides need to fold down just 90 degrees, bring it down, and then there is this piece here that you push in because that's where this blue tab goes in, and see. There you go. Now it's rotating this up. And I'm just going to point out there, you're going to have to stretch and bend plastic because this little plastic piece gets in the way, and it doesn't extend out further. So you don't have a choice. You're going to have to bend that out. You have to do that. There's no other way. Trust me, I played with all kinds of possible ways. So once you get them forward by bending over the plastic, you can see how that fits in, and you push it in, and then I don't know if you can see, but this also tabs in right there. And there's a lot of tabs because that's what helps secure all these pieces together. So just make sure you get that lined up, tab it in. Okay, I got it. And the same thing on the other side. Just make sure you got that tab in. Okay, that's that. And then just make sure, well, this came untabbed down here. Just make sure that's tabbed in, and should be all good. Just take note of how it is. It's a little gap. Now, if you watch my previous video, you know what I was telling you about this. I mean, you can try. I'm telling you, there is no way. There's no way to really get this to just carefully tab it in because you can't see. So, and even I saw Facebook had pictures, you know, those are tabbed in, so you have to rotate it around and take it off. Because you see the way the keys, you have to rotate it this way to take it off. And trust me, I've already gone both ways. You have to attach it this same way, which means you're gonna have to attach the truck to the trailer backwards. Trust me, there's no way. You try it this way, there's no way. This whole thing's gonna open up. This gap's gonna stretch open. There's no way. Because you can't tell, but it's because it's at a slight angle. See, it's not straight. It's at a slight angle this way. And so now if you put it the other way, now you have the angle going the other way, trying to fit in the, yeah, so that's why things open up. There is no other way. 100%, this is the only way it tabs in. It has to tab in this way, which unfortunately means you have to, how you have to attach the trailer. But the easiest way I do that is I open this up and tab one in first, which I'm having difficulty doing on camera. Okay, you get one piece tabbed in, and then when you close it, oh, well, I got it backwards. See, you cannot have it that way. See the keyhole's face? It's because it has to be this way. That's what I was telling you. See, it easily tabbed in. And now when you close it, it should easily tab in. Because you try attaching it the other way, you're not. It's going to spread the legs open. It's going to cause these gaps to open even further because of the angle, because it's not straight. This is the only way to get it to tab in. And now if you want to attach it, unfortunately, it has to go in backwards, which you can't. This is in the way. So now this is about how to attach this to the trailer. I mean, you can try lifting it up this way, which I did. I mean, it easily comes off this way, but trying to put it on, let me lift this up so you can see, trying to put it in here like this with the keyhole lined up, it's a little bit difficult. See, that smokestack's in the way. That's why you don't have a choice. You have to untab these just so you can bring this down. You don't have a choice. You have to do this. And then elevate this up a little bit. This is the only way you can get that in. And then you rotate it. And then you bring this back up. And then you have to re-tab these back to the vehicle, back to the truck. This is the only way to attach the trailer, I'm sorry. And you can go ahead and argue with me, whatever, but you're gonna have to prove it and show it to me, because I went every other way. There is no way. And now it's just trying to get this piece to tab in. Okay, but after you go through all of that, you know, I will say this does look really, really nice. I mean, I like how this trailer is much longer. Trailer is much cartoon accurate. My little nitpick is that gray line, because that's not in there on the cartoon. But this is really nice. So this was already a long video, so I'm gonna just end here. But I'll point out, I did find out what this piece is. It's not a battle axe like Sideswipe. It's actually an adapter for Huffer, so that when you transform Huffer, put it here, and then there is a little circle on there. If you remember, there's that keyhole shape, and then there's a circle. So then this trailer just simply comes right on top of it. It doesn't hold it like this, but it just simply sits on top. So just letting you know that's what this piece is for. So that's it. This is how I transform my Magic Square Optimus Prime 2.0 version from robot to vehicle.